for the Chicago White Sox. And he looks at ball one up high from Sowers. 57 degrees our game time temperature here in downtown Cleveland under brilliant clear skies. And that pitch in for a strike to even the count. Indians and White Sox will wrap up this series tomorrow with a 12 o'clock start at Progressive Field. One missed down low. Jason Nix is a Texas native, born in Dallas, grew up in Midland. Drafted by the Colorado Rockies back in 2001. Signed with the White Sox after last year as a free agent. His older brother, you may be a little more familiar with, that's Lance Nix. Lance was a fourth-round pick of the Texas Rangers back in 2000. Sowers misses outside, and the count goes full. 3-2 to the first hitter of the ballgame. There is Chris Getz. And the payoff pitch in the air, right center. Sizemore will give way to Shin-Soo Choo. One away.
Well, let's take a look at the Indians defense, brought to you by the Indians Team Shop, where single game tickets can be bought any day. In the outfield, it is Francisco, Sizemore, and Choo. Infield is DeRosa at third, Peralta at short, Cabrera is at second. Laporta gets the start at first, and Martinez behind the plate.
And speaking of behind the plate, Jerry Meals calling the balls and strikes. Mike DeMuro at first, James Hoy at second, and Dale Scott, the crew chief, down at third. Chris Getz batting in the 2-hole, feigned bunt, took a strike. 0 for 5 in last night's ball game. And it's quickly 0-2. Getz, born in Farmington, Michigan. Played for the Maize and Blue and was a fourth-round pick of Chicago in 2005. Perhaps a little homesick. Getz originally attended Wake Forest as a freshman and then transferred back to his home state at the University of Michigan. Swung on and missed, and Sowers gets his first strikeout, 2 down in the first inning.
Jeremy Saz gets that fastball, gets it down and in, and gets it by Getz. Tied him up a little bit, so strikeout number 1 for Sowers.
In the White Sox original lineup tonight, Carlos Quentin was batting in the familiar 3-hole, but he was scratched before the ball game, and Jermaine Dye hitting third tonight. They tell us Quentin is suffering from a sore left heel. He is available to pinch hit, but he will be held out of the starting lineup until they go to Toronto on Friday. They have an off day Thursday, so according to the White Sox, we will not see him in the starting lineup tomorrow in the series finale, but he is available for pinch hitting duties.
Okay, well, this is an amazing step we were talking about before the game. Well, I think it goes to show you that, every year is different, because he hit 23 home runs off left-handed pitching last year.
And he hit 294, right?
It's early in the year and everything, but it just goes to show you sometimes it doesn't happen. Right-handers don't hit left-handers for some strange reason, and he's killing right-handers.
2-1 pitch. Missed down and away. 3-1. Sometimes it also may just be, as you say, the luck of the draw, the way the stars align. Maybe the left-handers in particular that you're facing at that point in the year are just all happen to be really good, too. Sowers loses him, and a 2-out walk will bring up the left-handed hitting Jim Thome. Tonight's injury report brought to you by the law firm of Nuremberg, Paris, Ohio's injury lawyers since 1928. Call 1-800-399-2300. Travis Hafner once again taking batting practice on the field with the Tribe before the ball game, and should be getting closer to a rehab assignment. Jim Thome was 2 for 4 in last night's ball game. Indians shift. They bring DeRosa, who is a very talented utility type infielder. They bring him all the way from third base over to where the second baseman would normally play. Leave Peralta by himself over at short.
Well,
and Cabrera's the rover.
Yeah.
Asdrubal's the rover in the shallow right field.
Well, Johnny just stays where he normally is.
Grady Sizemore has to sprint way back. It's over his head and gone. A 2-out, 2-run homer for Jim Thome to straight away center field off Jeremy Sowers. And the White Sox grab the early lead. And for Jim Thome, that is home run number 546. And he is now 2 behind Mike Schmidt for 13th in baseball's all-time home run list.
You know, the White Sox will jump out front tonight with 2 runs in the first. And that's straight away center, and he doesn't get cheated. Fastball right down the middle. Nothing to it, and Jim Thome, he's not going to miss it. He may be struggling, but that's a ball right there on a tee for him into center field.
Well, Jim Thome's going to get his home runs. It's the 2-out walk that hurts you even more so in that situation.
Well, Jim Thome is going to hit his home runs when you leave pitches at that part of the plate. That's when he's going to hit them. You've got to make some pitches to him. That's got a smile on his face. But he has always come back to find a way to do very well against the Indians. He hit us for, what, about 6 or 7 home runs last year, I believe.
He's always had that strength to drive the ball to the deepest part of the ballpark.
Well, he could hit it out of any ballpark, out of anywhere. You know, he always has been able to. He could hit one out of the Grand Canyon if he gets his pitch.
Now the 1-1 to Paul Konerko. Popped him up. Shallow right, Shin-Soo Choo coming in. Inning over. But Jim Thome launches one to straightaway center, and the White Sox have the early 2-0 lead. Now let's see what Shin-Soo Choo and company have up their sleeve. First game right here on Sports Time Ohio. Bottom of the first, Tribe lineup for Eric Wedge, Grady Sizemore, Asdrubal Cabrera, Victor Martinez, Mark DeRosa, Shin-Soo Choo, and Johnny Peralta. Garco, Laporta, and Francisco rounded out. Courtesy of Progressive Insurance, proud to be the official auto insurance provider of the Cleveland Indians. Grady Sizemore 1 for 5 in last night's ball game. But that one was a big one because it came in the first inning. And the guys at Elias, the stats gurus, came up with an interesting note in that Sizemore has only been on base safely in the first inning of a game 6 times this year.
Wow.
The Indians are 5-1 in those 6 games. They're 7-20
when he doesn't reach. Yes.
Yep. So.
Well, I knew he wasn't. In the first inning, he wasn't doing very well. I didn't realize it was like that.
Down and away, 3-1. Clayton Richard getting the start tonight for Chicago, his first of the year. And he just did catch the outside corner. Brady thought he was headed for first. And there's a ground ball to short. Nix throws out Sizemore, 1 down.
Let's take a look at Clayton Richards' numbers. He's making his first start this year, his 9th Major League start. And you can see in his 12 games, 4.32 ERA. Opposition hitting .329, though. Lefties hitting .333, righties hitting .325. In his career, his second start against the Tribe, he is 0-1 and an ERA of 5.14.
As Dribble Cabrera looks at ball 1 down low, Cabrera has hit in 12 of his last 13 games. He just continues to consistently swing a very hot bat for the Indians. Two and one. Big bouncer towards second. Gets his man, 2 away.
Gets his man. I heard you. Let's check out the White Sox defense. In the outfield, it's going to be Posednik in left, Lillibridge in center, who was added late, and Dye is over in right. Fields at third, Nix at short, Getz at second, Konerko at first, and Miller behind the plate.
All right, with 2 away, Victor Martinez to the plate. And he looks at ball 1 down low. Victor has hit in 18 of his last 20 games. Comes in ranked 3rd in the American League in batting average, hitting .372. There's a blooper towards center, and that will drop. On a 2-out base runner for the Indians. Let's see if they can come up with some 2-out magic the way the White Sox did in their half of the first.
That gets inside and ties him up. Good pitch, but good hitter. Fights it off and gets a single. Not much you can do there except tip your cap. As hot as Victor is, he drops it in. Gets the Indians' first hit.
Gives Mark DeRosa a chance to swing here in the first. He was 2 for 4 with a double last night. Mark DeRosa on the year, batting .333 against Southpaws. Of his 3 home runs, though, a 50-50 split. 3 off left-handers, 3 off of right-handers. Missed with it down low. This was a real problem in last night's ball game for Gavin Floyd. He fell behind early and often. And the Indians were able to take advantage by getting into so many good hitters counts. Close pitch, but missed. 3-1.
Well, and we figured, a lot of times starters in their first inning have trouble settling in. They were able to get 2 runs off him. They had an opportunity off Floyd, I'm talking about yesterday, in the second inning.
Rounder towards third. Big hop for Fields. He'll go the short way, and the inning is over. Indians get a hit. They do not score. Leave one stranded. After 1 inning of play, it's Chicago 2, Cleveland 0. By Continental Airlines, official airline of the Cleveland Indians. Continental Airlines, work hard, fly right. By McCafe Coffees at McDonald's, all made to order with fresh ground espresso beans. And by All Care Dental and Dentures, we make seeing the dentist easy. Back here at Progressive Field, moving to the second inning of play. White Sox out to the early 2-0 lead. Josh Fields, Corky Miller, and Scott Pasednik will bat for Chicago. Fields looks at a ball up high. Off the glove of Martinez, 2-0. Indians come in tonight 12-21 on the year. 6.5 back in the Central. White Sox 14-17, 3.5 off the pace. Foul tip, 2-1.
Josh Fields getting the opportunity at third base this year for the White Sox. Joe Crede, a free agent. You remember 2 years ago he had an opportunity when Crede had some back problems, came up and hit a lot of home runs.
Sky high pop. Matt Laporta will be called off, and as Drupal Cabrera had to avoid Fields, who was flying by him, and he makes the grab for out number 1. Let's look at tonight's All-Tel text poll question of the game. Prior to his Drupal Cabrera, who 1 year ago today turned the unassisted triple play, who was the last guy in the AL to do it before him? Was it Ozzie Guillen, John Valentin, Jose Valentin, or Randy Velarde? Text your answer to 31962. We'll have the results later in the ballgame. That was against Toronto last year. Corky Miller doing the catching tonight, and he looks at a strike, although he may not have been all that convinced of the home plate umpire Jerry Meals' decision. Probably didn't like that one much better, but it's 0-2 now. There's Ozzie Guillen and Joey Cora, a couple of former middle infielders. Cora more of a second baseman, Ozzie the shortstop. 0-2. Line towards center. Sizemore coming in. He's got it 2 away. 1 year ago today, it was against the Toronto Blue Jays, if I remember right.
Remember it well.
Yeah.
Look at that. Lyle Overbay, the hitter. He catches it, steps on second. Go ahead and tag the runner. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. Bingo. And usually, yeah, the guys will be off and running. That was unbelievable.
Scott Pasednik, batting 8th tonight, takes a strike.
Cliff Lee was pitching in that game. That's where he pitched a shutout after 9, and it went extra innings. It was 0-0 after 9.
I don't remember that part of the story.
Lost 1-0, I believe, in extra innings.
That was that stretch.
3-0.
That was that stretch, though, where the Indian starters.
A week they had 4 shutouts.
Yeah.
Yep. Sure was. Toronto was here then. That's right.
On the ground, Cabrera stopped it, dropped it, and he won't get the speedy Pasednik.
Well, that'll be an error on Cabrera. That play right there just jumped up, hit him in the heel of the glove, and by the time, you know, with a guy that can run like Pasednik, you don't have as much time. It's not like you've got a catcher back there. So that'll go as an error.
So a runner at first with 2 down for Brent Lillibridge.
Just the second error of the year on Cabrera.
Jeremy with a toss over. Pasednik, when you think back to the year the White Sox won the World Championship, he gave them an element that they really needed that year. You know, giving that speed element.
Leadoff man. He was on base. He could steal bases. He could set the table for the big boppers. And he was on. He had a good year. He could bunt. And then he wins a game in the World Series by
What a
himself,
home run.
and it was his only one all year.
Unbelievable.
And then never came back. I never, just never had that year.
He came back to the White Sox after he was released by Colorado on April 1st. It was actually on April 14th that they agreed to terms on a minor league deal. And he went down and played 10 games at AAA Charlotte for Chicago. But in those 3 years he played with the White Sox, 05 through 07, he stole 111 bases. He's off and running. And
Boy,
the pitch
what a
fouled
jump.
back.
Terrific jump.
He still doesn't realize the ball was fouled off.
Well, you
because
stay there until they tell you to go back if
Yes.
you're not sure. Well, look at his jump. Oh, man. As a hitter now, I know if you like the pitch, you got to swing. I understand that. But if you're a veteran hitter, you would take that. Even if it's a strike, you'd go to 1 and 2, but you'd have a guy on second base and in scoring position. I mean, he had that stolen easily. But if you're the hitter and you like that pitch, you got to get after it.
Draws a throw here. Last year in 93 games with the Colorado Rockies, Pasednik was limited to a .253 average and just a dozen steals.
Well, Ozzie wants more speed in his lineup because he knows they're a station club. You've got the base cloggers in the middle of the lineup, and when you're not hitting home runs, which, by the way, Tomey's was their first in 5 games. For the White Sox, it was their longest drought if they didn't hit one since 2000. If they went 5 games, they've gone 4, but that first inning homer took care of it.
Pasednik again had a pretty good jump, but has to go back after the foul by Lillibridge.
Well, that's what you hate when you're a base stealer and you get 2 good jumps and they foul it off, and you got to come back and work again on it. But when the hitter's in a 2-strike mode, he's protecting.
Lillibridge has 10 hits and 59 at bats on the year. Two balls, 2 strikes.
When Pasednik was with Milwaukee before he came to Chicago, he was over there working with, who worked with him in base stealing? Davey Nelson.
Yeah.
Right. Davey was the first base coach in Milwaukee. Of course, Davey was here through the good years with Kenny Lofton. Well, he's got him on his move because Jeremy, without a very good move, he's had 2 great jumps. So there's something he sees in his delivery.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner at first here in the second. White Sox up 2-0.
Oh,
again, he had a huge jump, and again, the ball's fouled away by Lillibridge.
Well, he's getting his sprints in. He's had very good jumps, so he's picking something up in Jeremy's delivery where he knows he's going to the plate. Head down, and then he heard the ball hit the bat, and he says, not again.
This time the runner holds, and it's
he was
again
smart.
Fouled away.
That's a 7-pitch at bat to this point. This will be pitch number 8. Look at this kid. He looks like he's 12 years old. I mean, he's, 25? But I'm telling you, you talk about a baby face. I'll bet he still gets carded.
He'll be 26 in September. Originally a 4th-round pick of the Pittsburgh Pirates out of UW back in 05. Again, it's fouled away. Lillibridge went from the Pirates to the Braves as part of the package in the Adam LaRoche deal. LaRoche and outfielder Jamie Romack went to the Pirates in exchange for Lillibridge and left-handed pitcher Mike Gonzalez. Came to the White Sox as part of the Javier Vasquez trade. Again, the 2-2 pitch. Nope, throws over instead. Haven't checked to see how Vasquez is doing in the National League this year. He's doing all right.
He's pitching well. Hey, you know Javier Vasquez. He's a good pitcher. He's going to win no matter where he goes.
Came up with the Expos, so I mean he's no stranger to pitching in the NL.
He's got good stuff. They just didn't like him in Chicago. I guess they liked him, but as Ozzie said, they can't win the big game. Remember, he challenged him right before the Minnesota Twins series, which was a big series late in the year, and he went up and he gave it up.
Yeah, did not pitch well. This will be the 10th pitch in this at bat, and Lillibridge keeps fouling them over the top of the White Sox dugout.
6 foul balls.
I think Ozzie and company are down there shouting at Lillibridge to hit it out toward the center of the field. Keep it away from their dugout. The 2-2 in the air. Near the line. Shu had him played perfectly. Inning over. A lengthy at bat. But Sowers survives, and we go to the bottom of the second. 2-0 Chicago. Shin-Soo Choo leading off for Cleveland against Clayton Richard. And the left-hander's pitch is low for ball 1. In for a strike to even it up. Let's check out our Firestone League leaders. Shin-Soo Choo tied for 3rd in the AL in free pass category. He has walked 23 times already this year.
Well, he's got a very good idea of the strike zone. You know, what you do when you're not, you know, let's say swinging a hot bat, you're sort of idling around there and you can get a walk or two. That really helps you, that on-base percentage. It keeps you out there and saves you from those prolonged slumps. The walks do.
Full count now on Choo. Richards' 3-2 pitch is inside for ball 4. He did not go around on the appeal. And Choo goes down to first. Time now for our great clip of the game from yesterday. Johnny Peralta with his second consecutive 3-hit performance. And last night he drove in 3 runs in that 3-hit game. Relax, you're at Great Clips. And now Peralta, who has hit in 3 straight games.
Wow, that looked like a balk from up here. He rocked up, and I mean, he stepped over towards first base. Let's see. Goes straight up, and he goes a really long time. But you can see if that body starts sliding towards home plate, that would be considered deceiving the runner. That was close. That might have got me. I might have been out. But, you know, what you do when you haven't faced a pitcher before and you're a base runner, they have what you call a one-way lead. Eric wants you to get out there, and you're going back to first no matter what, just to hope that he throws over there so you can get a look at his move and let the first base coach look.
Right.
When you call it a one-way lead, you take an extra step, you force him to throw to first base just so you can get a look at it.
Now, whether or not you get his best move or not,
well, that's
know.
true. That is true, and he may have more than one. He's a young pitcher. That's his first start this year in the big leagues. And number 9, see, that's a slide step. So, you know, he can go both ways. He can pick it up and go to first base, or he can drop it. Looks like that little slide step. What he does when he gets on his back foot, watch him hesitate. He just pauses, and then he can decide what he wants to do with the runner. So right there, he's already showed you 2 moves. And you know what that does? That's going to help their team because you can steal bases off the White Sox. 32 out of 33 have been stolen this year.
Really, as a base runner right now with Richard, you've got to make sure he's going toward home plate before you can break, so it's tough to get a jump.
Yeah, you don't. You just hold your own ground. You don't go anywhere. Because he can neutralize the running game. There are certain left-handers that do that. Andy Pettit's good at it. You just guess. And you either go on first movement off him or you just sit there and wait. And first movement, you're guessing. And you don't want to make any outs on the base because he does give up about over a 300 batting average to the hitters.
2-2. Johnny punches it fouled on the right side.
You see, Rivera's over talking to Chu right now. You know, asking him if he sees anything or what he's looking for. You have to keep your eye on him, and it's an art to study it because it's the only time when you're on base that you can actually read a pitcher from that angle. You can look at all the video you want. You can't tell unless you're on first base.
The 2-2. Peralta yanks one toward left. Back goes the left fielder, and it is caught right on the warning track by Scott Posednik. And that's out number 1. Well, if you're thinking about getting engaged, check out Alvin's Jewelers Pray for Rain promotion. You buy your engagement ring at Alvin's. Then if it rains on your wedding day, your engagement ring is free. Log on to alvinsjewelers.com for all the details in their Pray for Rain promotion. One away, and now Ryan Garko steps in. And he takes a strike. Ryan Garko has found the playing time tough to come by. But he has hit in 9 of his last 10 games that he has started in.
Yeah, he can't change. He's getting an opportunity. You just got to go up there and keep grinding.
Drove in a run with a sacrifice fly and a pinch hit appearance last night.
Which we did a nice job. You know, you get up there, and when you're not playing every day, the one thing you lose focus of sometimes is your strike zone. Because it has a tendency to widen out when you're not playing every day. When you're out there every day, you get to see it, and when you just get 4 at-bats, you feel much more comfortable. When you're off 2 or 3 days, it takes you a while. And, you know, he'll swing earlier in the count than he normally does. And I think that's one reason, because hitters, they feel like I may need more swings.
So it's almost a layered effect. One, your eye might not be as sharp, and two, you're a little more anxious.
Yeah, well, that, and right now, see, normally on an 0-2 count, Gark will put up very good at-bats and usually fight his way back in. Let's see what happens.
Up high, 1-2.
Because he's one of the few hitters in this lineup that gives in. You know, when he gets to 2 strikes, he'll shorten his swing, he'll choke up, he'll do whatever it takes to put the ball in play.
Sometimes, depending on the pitcher, he'll go to a spread-out stance where he won't even move his front foot. Just, as you said, short, bat to ball. Swung on and missed. Richard went down and in to get him. 2 away. Let's go back to the STO studios right now for a Ford Sports update with Al Pulowski.
All right, Matt, Rick, let's set out to Baltimore where the Rays are taking on the O's, and Tampa Bay with the big 5-run now second inning. They just put up another one here. A single by Gianna Navarro got Jason Bartlett home. 5-1 Tampa Bay over Baltimore. Back to you.
All right, Al, thanks for the update. Orioles 13-19 on the year, 8 games out, in last place in the AL East. There's Matt Laporta, who has not played since Thursday. That was in Boston.
You know, he's getting the start today at first base.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he's been playing much more. He's been playing the outfield. I think one of the only games he played down there at first base is right before we called him up.
He didn't have his glove.
Right. He had to go.
He had to borrow Andy Marte's first base glove.
Well, they have to decide on really what they want to do with him, because they do have a boatload of outfielders here. When you have, Francisco and Grady and Chu and DeLucci, and, you can keep going.
But you know as well as I do that he makes the decision for them the way he plays. You know, if he swings a hot bat,
they'll put
him in there somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. I guess that dictates a lot of playing time.
But he is a rookie and trying to feel his way through his first major league experience, too. Runner at first with 2 down. Chu had the leadoff walk, but he's still there. Up high, 2-1. Clayton Richard, native of Indiana, played collegiately at the University of Michigan with Chris Getz. That's way outside. He's another football, baseball guy. The White Sox have a real eye for going after those guys.
Who was the other
Josh Fields they have, who's, of course, a former quarterback.
Who used to be their #1 draft pick about 4 or 5 years ago. They traded, I think, went to Seattle and down to Atlanta. Joe Borchard.
He was a Stanford guy. Did Tommy Boe just drop a Bo Jackson reference?
Yes, he did. And he's laughing all the way to the bank.
2 walks in the inning for Richard, and the Indians have a chance with 2 outs now to get on the board as Ben Francisco comes to the plate. Bo Jackson.
He might have been the best 2-sport star.
What a phenomenal athlete in his heyday.
Boy, oh boy.
Here's Francisco now. He's got a hit in 8 of his last 9 games. Backs away. He's saying it was inside. Home plate umpire Jerry Meal saying
we've
it's
had
a
few guys bark on first pitches tonight from both sides, not just one. I'm not saying maybe we're going to see a pitcher's strike zone tonight.
That missed, 1-1. Richard was an 8th-round pick out of the University of Michigan in 2005. And his teammate Chris Getz came in that same draft. Getz, the White Sox second baseman, was taken in the 4th round of that same draft out of the University of Michigan. So that's pretty good crop for the Wolverines.
I would say that one scout liked what he saw when he made his trip up to Michigan.
Francisco ropes one into the left field corner, extra bases. Coming around third, Shin-Soo Choo will score. Laporta into third, and Ben Francisco gets the Indians on the board with his 9th run batted in of the year, his 6th double, and the White Sox lead cut to 2-1.
So a 2-out base hit for Ben Francisco, getting the Tribe on the board. This is going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. You have to love a 2-out base hit because it was Clayton Richard that walked the 2 guys on base, and he tried to get one inside and left it down middle of the plate. And Benny can turn on the fastball. So he will short hop the wall, get his 9th RBI, and it's now a 2-1 ball game.
And now Grady Sizemore with a golden opportunity with 2 down, 2 runners in scoring position. Fouls the first pitch off. Sizemore trying to get his offensive stroke ironed out. 4 hits in his last 27 at-bats.
And usually, when he gets into the division, he gets his stroke back. Because normally he has hit the White Sox very well. He's always hit Kansas City very well when you get into a division game.
You pointed out last night his hits and how he's been extremely
by direction
conscious. And I wonder if the fact that he had 6 home runs in his first 18 games had anything to do with that.
Very well could. Yes, subconsciously you're saying, I'm not trying to hit the home run, but every hitter falls into the trap at one point or another. And it very well could be.
Did he go too far? They appeal. He held up, says third base ump Dale Scott, the crew chief. That was close, but Grady is still alive. In the first 2 games against Detroit on this homestand, the Indians were 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position. They're 9 for their last 23 since.
Okay, now they're getting some barking from the other dugout. So it's starting. This could be a long night here. He asked for help. He got it, and it was Dale Scott that said no swing.
That's right. 1-2 the count. Wants it up high. Grady fights it off. You can see Miller putting the target up almost out of the strike zone.
We've seen that a lot this year with Grady. Let's get it upstairs above the belt. Grady likes the ball down. Drop that bat head.
Corky Miller in there tonight, which would lead you to believe we'll see A.J. Pierzynski in tomorrow's series finale. 1-2 pitch, and he struck him out. So the Indians get on the board, but they leave 2 stranded in scoring position, and through 2, it's Chicago 2, Cleveland 1. the 2-1 advantage. And Jeremy Sowers will face the top of the White Sox batting order. It'll be Jason Nix, Chris Getz, and Jermaine Dye. Nix flied out to right his first time up tonight. Tried to bunt his way aboard, but he pushed it foul. And the count quickly 0-1. Missed down low with it. Jason Nix, mentioned growing up in Midland, Texas as a senior in high school. His team won the Texas State Baseball Championship. He hit .451 his senior year in high school. And as a pitcher, he was undefeated with a 1.63 ERA. But it came down to decision. The old, do I go to college or do I start my pro career? Texas A&M had offered him a baseball scholarship, but the Colorado Rockies
offered him some cash.
They offered him some do-re-mi. So he decided to start his pro career.
So he went to the pros for music. Do-re-mi.
He majored in music?
Yes, it did.
Nick's only time in the big leagues with the Rockies came last year, appearing in just 22 games. Now the 2-2. Hit well, deep left field, and gone. Onto the home run porch for Jason Nix. His second home run on the year. And the White Sox get the run right back and now lead it 3-1.
Second home run of the evening for the Sox. This a leadoff homer. Yeah, you're right, and they come right back and respond. That's something you don't like to do. If you're that pitcher, you like to go out and throw a zero. Let's see. He doesn't. That looked like was that a fastball? Might have been a changeup. Hard to tell right now, but that ball stayed up and in, and it got hit out of the ballpark.
Getz pops it up on the infield. Johnny Peralta calling for it, and the shortstop grabs it. One down.
Well, if you're traveling, you can always catch the Tribe games on your computer with MLB.tv. It's the ultimate baseball experience featuring 100 live out-of-the-market games per week, plus on-demand games. For full details, visit Indian.com, where baseball is always on.
Dye steps in, looks at ball one up high. Jermaine Dye walked and scored in the first. And a strike in there. 1-1. White Sox getting back to what they do best as a team, and that's hit the home run ball. And it has allowed them to grab the early lead tonight. A 2-out, 2-run homer by Jim Thome in the first. And a leadoff homer from Jason Nix here in the third. High pop, shallow left. Peralta again is out. He'll be called off. And Francisco makes the grab. 2 away. Let's get a look at our Subway fresh face of the game. Man, down on the farm, Lonnie Chisenhall, Carolina League Player of the Week for the second time already this year. And what a week it was for Lonnie, with a dozen runs scored and over a 500 batting average.
And 12 ribbies. Yeah, that's a very good week.
2 down now for Jim Thome. And Jeremy Sowers gets ahead with a quick strike. down too low, and the count evens at 1-1.
Well, Tommy last year, he had 13 hits against the Indians, but 6 of them left the ballpark and had 12 RBI.
Special hello to a great Indians fan, Brandon Matson, who is here at the ball game tonight from Toledo, back from a tour of duty in Iraq, or excuse me, in Afghanistan. I saw Brandon before the ball game today, and he said, "Hey, maybe packing up and deploying again before the year is out." So,
enjoy the game while you can.
Absolutely, and our hats off to Brandon and all our servicemen and women. 2-2 is outside, full count now. Two down and the bases are empty. And the payoff pitch. He walked him, ball 4. Second walk tonight. And with 2 down, Paul Konerko will be the batter. Our Senior PGA Championship Challenge keyword of the day is caddy. You want a chance to win tickets to the Senior PGA event coming up at Canterbury Golf Club, plus autographed flags from previous champs. Just log on to our website, click on the contest banner, fill it out with the keyword caddy, and you can be a winner. 20 winners in all will be selected. So, a runner at first with 2 away.
That's right. That walk right there for Jim Thome ties Pete Rose on the all-time walk list.
Just about every time Jim does something offensively, he's moving up the list, isn't he? That's his 8th walk in his last 7 games now. And that's something he's done his entire career.
And you said he's, 2 homers behind Smitty now.
Yeah, for 13th place. That's going to be trouble. Splits the outfielders. Thome not running well. He's only going to get to 3rd.
Not running well. Holy smokes. With 2 outs, that is very slow there. That's like a home run trot.
You called them base cloggers, and that is exactly what Thome and Konerko are in the middle of this order.
I mean, right here, it's tough. They could have another run if anybody else was out there. I mean, that was like Benji Molina style. That one gets up to the wall, and look he's not even at 3rd base yet.
Yeah, that's
wow.
Not a sprinter's gait, that's for sure. So 2nd and 3rd, 2 down for Josh Fields. And Sowers trying to get out of this without allowing the White Sox to really take command of the game here. Fields popped up to second base his first time up tonight. Fields 2 for 4 now in the series. And the 1-0 is popped up foul and back out of play. Josh Fields, the White Sox third baseman, has 2 homers, 12 ribbies on the year. Also has 2 doubles and 2 triples. Sowers at 60 pitches. He's made 20 in every inning. Now 21 here in the 3rd.
Well, he's made a couple of mistakes. The balls that have left the ballpark, the Thome home run and then the Knicks, they were right there. Those balls are going to get hit hard. And when you make pitches like that to this lineup, the White Sox, they can hurt you with the long ball. As I mentioned, they hadn't homered in 4 games coming into this one, but they're willing to take it out. These guys led the league in homers last year. They hit a lot in their ballpark.
Swung on and missed, and he gets a big strikeout to end the inning. White Sox get another run. And we go to the bottom of the 3rd. Now 3-1 Chicago. The third here at Progressive Field. As Dribble Cabrera leads it off with a line drive single into right field. Dye will hold him to first base, and the Indians get their leadoff man aboard for the second inning in a row. This is a reason why Cabrera has been so good offensively this year. Take what they give, shoot it the other way.
That's right. That's exactly right, Matt. That was a nice swing. And that pitch was up. It was elevated by Richard, so it certainly helped Cabrera to go the other way.
Victor Martinez had a base hit his first time up.
Tell you, Richard will give up hits now. He's given up coming into today 23 and 16, almost 17 innings. So both lefties and righties have fared well against him, over 300. So I guess just stay patient and then try and hit the ball where it's pitched.
Now the 0-1. It missed down low. Victor Martinez has just been sensational with the bat so far this year. And you would figure that if things continue as they are, where he's not catching every day, offensively he's got a chance to be right up there among the league leaders all season long. It's catching every day that beats a guy up and wears him down.
I mean, that's the decision here that's, I think, in the mix. Where how often do you catch Kelly Shopik? And when Kelly catches, and of course you don't take Victor's bat out, he goes to first, or he hasn't been DHing because you have other guys to do that. Where does that leave Laporta when it comes to first base compared to the outfield? There's a lot of pieces here that they're going to have to put together and figure out where they want guys to play. And you know Victor's going to be in there regardless.
Now the 3-1 pitch coming up. And it's ball 4. So a hit and a walk. And the Indians have something brewing here in the third. First two aboard for Mark DeRosa. Before the ball game today, Indians general manager Mark Shapiro met with the media talking about a number of topics and specifically talking about Tribe manager Eric Wedge.
What I can tell you is that I believe that no one cares more about these players or this organization than Eric Wedge. That I feel strongly he's making every effort to move this in a positive direction. We've had a lot of disappointment across the board. If there's any one component of the team that's been most crippling to the way Eric's managed the game, to the residual relationship with the starting rotation, to the psyche, maybe it's been the pen. And so I think if you've seen where we've made the changes and where we'll continue to make changes, that's the area.
Mark DeRosa with 2 on, nobody out. Hits a high fly ball, left field routine for Posednik. And the runners have to hold. 1 away.
Well, take advantage of the new Spring Super Saver pricing and get field box seats behind the dugout for as low as $25. There are a couple of Super Spring Saver games. One is tomorrow, right here as we wrap up this series with the White Sox. The next will be May 25th through the 28th when the Tampa Bay Rays come to town. Visit Indians.com/value pricing for more details.
Shin-Soo Choo steps in, walked and scored his first time up. As Dribble Cabrera at second, Victor Martinez down at first. And a first pitch strike to Choo.
Richard, a guy that was on the postseason roster last year, made 2 relief appearances in the American League Division Series against Tampa Bay. Gave up 1 run over 6 1/3 innings with 6 strikeouts.
Now, speaking of Tampa Bay, they got out to that big early lead that Al talked to us about.
Right.
They've given it all back. Baltimore is now ahead 6-5 in that game.
Oh, yeah. Baltimore can hit now. They've got some hitters. We'll see if it stays that way for long.
0-2 pitch misses up high. Rays began the day 15-18, so they're off to a sluggish start. DJ Carrasco beginning to loosen. This is only the first start of the year for Clayton Richard, and it's not like he's had time to really stretch himself out.
Yeah, that's something that's hard to do, especially in game situations when you're going through a grind of the hitters.
I mean, he has pitched 3 innings in relief out of the bullpen for the White Sox this year, but he's closing in on 60 pitches, so looks like it could be a bullpen by committee type game. 2-2 pitch. Way outside to the backstop it goes. Everybody moves up. Down to third goes Cabrera on the wild pitch. Martinez into second.
Well, that's a favor right there. That does him a huge favor. Takes the double play out of order.
Just looked like he tried to get a little too much extra on this breaking ball. And Corky Miller couldn't get over there to block it. Now a full count on Chu with Johnny Peralta next. He rolls it over to first. They'll get a run home.
Well, the wild pitch.
Scoring is Cabrera. It's a 1-run game at 3-2. And now the tying run is 90 feet away, but now there are 2 out in the inning. For Chu, it's his 18th run batted in on the year.
And you take it. You take it. See that? You put the ball in play, put it on the ground, a little weak grounder, and Konerko came up on that a little bit. Caught that high into his glove. But Chu gets the RBI, and it's a gift run right there with the wild pitch, so you certainly take it.
And now Johnny Peralta. Last night he had a big 2-out, 2-run hit for the Indians. A 2-out hit here would tie the game. 31 strikes, 31 balls so far for Clayton Richard.
Well, I mean, that's what you see when you have young pitchers. They get up there, inconsistency. And he is battling to get his way through. It was the leadoff walk in the last inning that set the inning up. He had 2 in the inning.
1-2 strikes the count on Johnny Peralta. While we have a minute here, I want to send along our deepest condolences to Tom Gilbert and his family. Tom lost his mom, Helen Gilbert, who was a huge Tribe fan out in Sandusky, Ohio. She passed away today.
Indeed.
So our condolences to Tom and his family. Down low, 2-2 the count. Victor Martinez standing at third base representing the tying run. Peralta back to even in the count. And a ground ball up the middle into center field. That's a base hit. Indians tie the game as Martinez comes home from third. And Johnny Peralta's surge offensively continues as he gets another big 2-out RBI hit for the second night in a row.
Well, he's starting to get that ball away, and he's starting to do something with it. You see that ball elevated, and Johnny's staying back. His body's not moving forward. See how he's staying behind the ball?
You could really see it in that angle
yes,
right there.
Yes, you could. You could see where his body was behind the baseball. He had a good swing and a good follow-through. And even though that ball was away, he ended up hitting it up the middle. So no body movement whatsoever. So it looked like a very good swing.
Ryan Garco struck out his first time up. When you talk about the forward lean of a hitter, and specifically Peralta as the top half of his body would start to lean, is that so subtle that a hitter doesn't even realize he's doing it?
Yeah, you don't feel it. You're thinking like, no, I'm not. I'm staying back. But what happens when you start leaning forward? Your hands come with you, and you just lose bat speed, and it's just not as quick. Let's watch. Watch his back foot, and his front just goes up and down, and then it transfers, and he hits the ball before everything else comes forward. That was a good swing.
The 0-1. Ryan pops it in the air, right field. coming hard, Jermaine Dye. He'll get there and makes the catch. Indians rally back for a 2 spot through 3. We're knotted up at 3 apiece. Pleasant evening here in downtown Cleveland. Reminder, day game tomorrow, 12 o'clock start. We'll have it for you right here on Sports Time Ohio if you can't make it down to the yard for a little afternoon baseball. Corky Miller, Scott Pasednik, Brent Lillibridge to bat here in the 4th, and it ticks off the glove of DeRosa. And Miller aboard with a leadoff hit. Take another look here. DeRosa gave it a good effort.
Right off the end of the glove. No, that ball came up on him a little bit. He had it timed just off the end of the glove. So the White Sox will get their leadoff man aboard.
63 pitches so far in the night for Jeremy Sowers. That was coming into the inning. Scott Pasednik thought about a bunt. Pitch was down and in for ball 1.
Well, and this is a guy that, you know, he can bunt for a base hit. Even though there's a man on first base, he will take it with him.
Fouls it back out of play. Well, and a guy like Pasednik with his speed would force a young first baseman like Matt Laporta to have to make decisions in a hurry, too. Depending on how good the bunt might be, if it's right down the line.
Well, he's got him pinched at the corners, and that's all you can ask for because it gives you a little more room to slap it. And that, when he was squaring like that, looks like he was looking towards the third baseline. And DeRosa's way down, you know. Cripes, he's about 15 feet in front of the bag.
By the time the pitch is made, he's right up in his grill. He's on Pasednik's front lawn. Toss over. But Laporta was about 5 feet in front of the bag. Miller not a threat to run at first. But what Jeremy's doing with that throw is just keeping him close.
Now, it's a catcher. He's not going anywhere.
In the air, left center. Grady long run. He'll get there and make the grab. And Miller will have to retreat back to first.
Well, Tuesday when we return home after our long road trip, the Rays are going to be in town, and on Tuesday night, it'll be time for you to take on some hot dogs. Let's go. Dollar Dog Night will return. That'll be Tuesday, May 26th. The Rays are in town.
One on, one out. Brent Lillibridge flied out to right his first time up. Lillibridge had, 10 or 11 pitch at bat his first time up?
Yes, he did. 10.
It was 10. 10 pitch at bat. Fouled a number of balls off right over the White Sox dugout on the right side in that at bat. Eventually flied out to shallow right near the line. Sowers does not have a ground ball out tonight. Every ball has either been hit in the air or he has 2 strikeouts. There's another ball popped in the air, shallow right. Chu makes the grab, 2 down. Well, let's check out our All Care Dental and Dentures Smiling Easy Cam tonight. And lots of sunshine here at the ballpark before the ball game, despite the cool temperatures.
Well, that's not too bad tonight with that wind dying down.
17 locations across northeastern Ohio. All Care Dental and Dentures make seeing the dentist easy. Supposed to be in the 70s tomorrow for our 12 o'clock game. And the Indians will hit the road for an extensive road trip. Gone for 11 days, 10 games, 4 in Tampa, 3 in Kansas City, 3 in Cincinnati. Runner at first, 2 down for Jason Nix, who homered his last time up.
You know, the difference for Sowers, what he has to do, he has to locate. He's pretty much got to be perfect going in and out because his change in velocity between his fastball and changeup is not that great. You know what I'm saying? Everything's, but I'd say within about 7 miles an hour, it seems like. So you better locate. If you don't, they're going to be geared for that fastball. There was his changeup at 80. He can go from that's 80 or that breaking ball at 80 to maybe 89.
Now the 2-1. And
pretty good pitch.
3 balls and a strike.
That looked like it, that's this angle where we're looking at outside corner, but, that's not directly behind the pitcher. But I know one thing, if I'm pitching, I want it.
That's way outside, ball 4. So 2 on, 2 out, and now Chris Getz 0 for 2 will be the batter. Fans, if you want ticket specials to select Indians games between now and July 3rd, visit Indians.com/STO. Check out the great specials courtesy of Sports Time Ohio. That's Indians.com/STO. All right, here we go now. 2 on, 2 out. Chris Getz has struck out, popped up to short. In tight. Now the 1-0. Popped back out of play. Late last year, White Sox skipper Ozzie Guillen really raved about Chris Getz, saying, hey, I like this kid, the way he plays. I like the way he does his business. I like the guys who have to fight their way through the minor league system to get here.
I'll tell you, he played a heck of a game last night.
Defensively,
yes, he did. He was
terrific.
all over the place. Just give him a chance, and he'll learn how to hit.
Maybe in some small way, Ozzie sees a little bit of himself in Getz, and maybe a bit of an overachiever, guy who had to scrap and fight for it. He'll like him a whole lot more if he gets a base hit right now.
Yeah.
Sauers trying to take care of him. The 1-2 is fouled back. One of the things that Getz has done through his minor league career, he's had a good eye at the plate and drawn a lot of walks.
Well, you can see him. He's on that plate.
Swung on and missed. Sauers gets his third strikeout in a key spot, and the White Sox strand a pair. We head to the bottom of the fourth, tied at 3. Where the Indians and the White Sox are knotted up at 3 apiece, going to the bottom of the fourth inning. Matt Laporta to lead it off for the Tribe. Walked his first time up. And Clayton Richards' first pitch is down low for ball 1. Richard about to make his 70th pitch of the night, and it looks like the White Sox have some activity in their bullpen. So I'm not sure how long the leash will be.
Well, you get into the middle part of that game. And for him, as you mentioned, this is his first start. You know, he's at a 3-inning relief. It'll be short. They'll see what he can do here. Ozzie will. You're down to the 8-9. 1 in your order. He's going to sort of test this kid and see what he can do.
Matt Laporta leads it off with a base hit up the middle. He's been on base safely twice tonight. Just takes a pitch and drives it right back up the gut.
Boy, and one right down the middle.
Major League Baseball scoreboard, courtesy of Wendy's. It's way better than fast food. It's Wendy's. Francisco thought about the bunt program, but bunted it off his front foot, I believe, as it rolled down the third base side. Trying for the element of surprise right there after he drove one into the left field corner his first time up to drive in a run. Fouled out of play.
Got a couple of birthdays we'd like to send along. Our friend that works up here in charge of the suites, Emily Christacue. Her birthday today. Happy birthday to you, Emily. And Richie Myers up in the Terrace Club. Richie, happy birthday to you, my friend. They're having to work here today, but as of Thursday, you guys can get your rest.
Well, they'll still get their celebrating in.
I'm sure. No, 12 o'clock game tomorrow. They don't have a whole lot of time to celebrate tonight.
See, they're young, though.
Turn it over to Thursday. Where do we leave town?
When you're young, you can burn
That's
the
true.
candle
I
at both
forgot.
ends.
I
So you
forgot.
remember.
No, I forgot.
Here's the 1-2. Speaking of birthdays, birthday wishes out to Mandy Carter, celebrating a special birthday tonight as well.
Well, they're giving us a chance now. We can go ahead and say Robert Dutcher of Euclid, 93. John Hyla of Menor is turning 50. Dick Seeberger of Mansfield is 65. And Colin Beach of Medina is 14. Happy birthday to each and every one.
Pitch up high to Ben Francisco. One of the birthday wishes you gave out there was our own Brian Hyla's
Brian's uncle. Yes, it was.
Brian, to me, is like Punxsutawney Phil. I only see him a couple of times a year. He pokes his head out.
Spring training.
Then he goes back underground. You don't see him. Comes out for spring training, does a great job producing spring training daily. They turn around, he's gone. You don't see him until next spring.
He only comes out in the spring. That's a good nickname for him, Punxsutawney Brian.
3-2 pitch to Francisco. Popped up foul over his Canerco. Can't reach in far enough.
Now, what does he want with the ball?
He didn't. He's thrown right back into the crowd.
I know it. He doesn't want it. He couldn't catch it to begin with.
It's all right. He's got his gloves working down there. Is it that chilly out there?
I don't know. Well, it must be.
Here's the payoff pitch. High in the air, center. Lillibridge calling for it. Dye says, I'm the senior man here. I'll take it.
I know it, but you usually center fielder gets it, but you're right, the senior.
And he's bigger, too.
Yeah, that's true.
I would always yield to Jermaine Dye. You take it, sir.
Well, yeah, normally the captain in the outfield is going to be your center fielder, but I don't know. Maybe he was calling for it, and he just said, hey, get. I mean, they both can get there. And Dye is out there every day. Lillibridge is not, so.
All right, now Grady Sizemore, 0 for 2, steps in. Grady socks one into center, a base hit. Laporta hits second. He's going to try. No, puts the brakes on and turns back to third. He took about 2 full strides, and I thought he's going to make a move here.
Let's go. I would like to see it. Let's go.
You know, he's not a burner, but he runs better than I thought he did.
You know, this ball hit hard. He didn't get it on one hop. It was a second hop. Grady gets a ball down in the strike zone and laces it to center. Good swing. Now watch Lillibridge. He's going to get it on a short hop and right there, and he's probably wise to hold up because he had that ball before he really got to second base.
Ozzie Guillen is going to make a pitching change here. Clayton Richard goes 3 1/3 innings tonight. We've got a timeout at Progressive Field. We are tied at 3. 2 on and 1 out. Clayton Richard exits after 3 1/3 innings tonight. Charged with 3 runs on 6 hits. Responsible for the 2 men on base. He'll yield to right-hander DJ Carrasco.
Carrasco, he was with them last year. He pitched in 31 games for the Sox. Did a nice job, 1-0, 3.96 ERA. We remember him when he was with Kansas City from 2003 to 2005.
As Drupal Cabrera fouls it back out of play. DJ Carrasco, it's been a long and winding road. He was originally drafted by the Baltimore Orioles in 1997. He was an outfielder. But he thought he was a really good hitter, but I don't think anybody else did. And then the Pittsburgh Pirates had seen him pitch, and after he was released in 1998, the Pirates signed him. And, you know, he's made his way through the minor leagues, big leagues, pitched in Japan. In 2003, pitched in 50 games with the Kansas City Royals out of their bullpen. Made a couple of starts. And as you said, last year with the White Sox, pitched in 31 games. As Drupal, fly ball, left field, Pasednik can't get it. Fair ball, up into the seats it goes. And so will the Indians get a run here? Yes, they will. Laporta will come home and score. Sizemore will have to stop at third. But as Drupal Cabrera gets his second hit of the night, it's an RBI double, and the Indians take a 4-3 lead.
Well, you talk about great placement. I mean, that ball caught just inside the line, and it was slicing. Pasednik can run now over there in left field, and you figure that's a breaking ball he jams himself with. As he's trying to get over, he realizes it hits right on the edge of that rubberized track and bounces into the seats. Now, I'm not sure if it would have done that right on the chalk if it hits into that dirt area, but it was awfully close, and when you're going good, look at that. You get a great bounce, you get a ribby, and now they're going to walk Victor Martinez intentionally.
And load the bases.
So that run that scored was charged to Richard. He's responsible for one more. Third time Martinez has been on.
Mark DeRosa, 0 for 2 tonight, will be the batter next. That ball, as you said, though, hit right on the line and almost at the end of that rubberized track.
Yeah, it doesn't get much closer than that, Matt, and it may have stayed down. I don't know. But with that slice and that rotation, when it hits, it's like a super ball that just takes off right on the chalk and right on the edge of that rubberized track. And look at it. Look how high that bounced into the seats. I mean, that went up there. It was unbelievable. He was about a step or two away. Could not get there, and you can't dive on that stuff or try and take a chance there.
Indians have the lead. Now trying to really take command of the game. Bases loaded, 1 out. Mark DeRosa 0 for 2 steps in. Looks at a ball down low. Foul down in the lower deck. Look out, folks.
Again, the Indians doing it with base hits, doubles, putting the ball in play, working it on down the line. That's how things get started. You get 2 guys on, they intentionally walk Martinez. Now it's up to DeRosa to try and do something.
Fouled away again. He's down on the count 1-2.
That's when your offense is clicking, is when you work 1 through 9 and everybody feels a part of it. And you just do your own little job, whatever the situation calls for, and you just move on from there. Trust in the guys behind you.
Got him. Really changed speeds on him.
Gave him a different arm angle is what he did. He dropped down from the side. Gave him a totally different arm angle and really pulled the swing. You back off. Look at down from the side. That's an excellent pitch in an excellent spot. Never showed him that angle. Now all of a sudden you pick it up late. It's so slow and it has you out in front and he swings and misses. That's a great pitch.
So with 2 down, bases loaded, Shin-Soo Choo drove in a run with a ground out his last time up.
And this is where you want to pick up your teammate. Let Choo do something here.
Grady Sizemore, the runner at third, is Drupal Cabrera at second. Victor Martinez at first. Outfield straight away for Choo. Fouls it away.
They
1-1.
are 4 for 8 in this series with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. Could see Choo. Very good numbers with the bases drunk.
One count. Inside. Tribe on top 4-3. But a chance here to really open it up with a big hit here from Choo. Out of play, foul. Left side. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mentioned DJ Carrasco went to Japan and spent time pitching. Said he didn't like it. Said love the culture, love the people. But he said the style over there he didn't care for, pitching to contact. He said guys would chop it into the ground. They'd bounce it all over the place.
Imagine facing 9 Ichiros.
Yeah. Up high, full count.
Yeah, as a pitcher, you want some guys to come up there swing and miss. Because that's easier to pitch to. I can understand what he's saying.
But he said, hey, if I hadn't gone there, maybe I wouldn't have made it back here. So,
Right.
Everybody moves on this 3-2 pitch. Bases loaded, 2 out. And he comes off the mound, but nobody was moving yet. Now the runners go. And a swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts with the bases loaded, but the Indians take the lead on the RBI double by Drupal Cabrera. 4-3 Cleveland after 4. Back here inside Progressive Field. 4-3 now in favor of the Tribe. Jeremy Sowers coming out for the 5th inning to face Jermaine Dye, Jim Thome, and Paul Konerko. Dye has walked and scored and flied out to left. "81 pitches so far on the night for Sowers, and activity in the Indians' bullpen. 3 balls and no strikes. He walked Dye with 2 outs in the first inning, and then Jim Thome hit a 2-out, 2-run homer to give the White Sox the early lead, as you see Jensen Lewis heating up.
Well, you're going through the lineup the third time again. After what happened to Sowers in Boston, I think Eric Wedge and Carl Willis, they want to have somebody ready where they're not going to give an opportunity. They battled back after falling down 2-0. They took a 3, tied it up at 3 and just took the lead.
Long run for Grady. He's not going to get it, and it's off the fence, and then it kicks past him. Dye's got an easy 2, and he'll hold there. He was thinking momentarily about third base, maybe in his younger days.
Well, he probably could have made it, but, he wanted to be safe than sorry. He just said, He might have been gassed, but he hits his ball a long way. And the ricochet is actually why he should have been on third. You see him get out of the box, and then when that ball bounces past Grady right there.
It hit right on the edge of where the padding stops and the fencing begins in front of the bullpen.
See, he probably could have made it, Matt, but he says, nope, let me get these legs to stop and just ease on back. But it's okay. It's a leadoff double.
But now Jim Thome, 2-run homer his first time up, walked in the third. There's a high drive, deep right field. Back is Chu at the fence, leaps up, can't get it. It's another 2-run homer for Jim Thome. And the White Sox come right back and regain the lead, 5-4. A double and a dinger. And just like that, Chicago back in front with their 3rd home run on the night. That's going to be it for Jeremy Sowers. Here comes Tribe manager Eric Wedge. But that 3rd time through the lineup, the White Sox come back and tattoo Jeremy Sowers with the 2-run homer to recapture the lead. So we've got a timeout in Cleveland. It's now Chicago 5 and Cleveland 4. For the 42nd time in his career, has hit 2 home runs in a ball game.
Well, he tried to run one inside there, and he just didn't have the mustard on it to get it by him. And Thome brings the hands through. See Chu making a nice attempt as he gets over into the seats for his 2nd home run. And an interesting note, just over. That's a very nice attempt there by Chu. Interesting note, the 3rd time through the lineup, and Sowers 2 starts, hitters are hitting 5 for 6 and 4 walks off them.
Now Jensen Lewis comes in, and Paul Konerko sends a high drive to right. This will be playable for Shin-Soo Choo, 1 away. Let's go back to the STO studios right now for a Ford Sports update and Al Pulowski.
All right, men, we go back to Baltimore after Tampa Bay took a 5-1 lead. Baltimore comes roaring back. A 3-run homer here by Adam Jones gave Dios a 6-5 lead. It's now 7-5 in the 5th inning at Camden Yards. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Al. Josh Fields 0 for 2 steps in. Swung on and missed to even the count. Big chopper foul. And the 1-2 from Jensen Lewis. Victor wanted it up high, but it ran a little wide. Fields able to lay off. That's way outside. Full count. Swung on and missed. Threw the gas right by him. 2 down. Another look at our Alltel text poll question. A year ago today, as Drupal Cabrera turned the unassisted triple play, who was the last AL player to do it before him? Was it Ozzie Guillen, John Valentin, Jose Valentin, or Randy Velarde? Text your answer to 31962. We'll have the results coming up later in the game. Jensen Lewis has retired the first 2. And now Corky Miller, 1 for 2 on the night, steps in. You know, the popular second guessing is, well, why didn't Eric Wedge just bring Jensen Lewis in to start the 5th inning? And I would say to that, unlike Clayton Richard, Jeremy Sowers is a starting pitcher. And you're not expecting him to go 4 innings and then go to your bullpen.
No. Yes, no. You got to go a minimum 5.
He had Lewis up.
Well,
in
and
case
ready
he
to
got
go.
into trouble.
And he did within the first 2 hitters.
Don't think he expected it to happen quite that quickly.
Well, you can see for the second straight time, that third time was what I'm saying. That third time through the lineup, the hitters make adjustments, and that's why I said the separation in pitches makes a huge difference right there. You're anywhere from 80 to 88. And by that third time through, and he doesn't have a lot of movement on his pitches, they make the adjustments.
3-2 pitch. Got him. Jensen Lewis throws it by Corky Miller. Gets him out 1, 2, 3. But not before Jeremy Sowers gave up the 2-run homer to Jim Thome that has the Sox now in front. They've been behind from the outset tonight when the White Sox struck in the first inning. But perhaps we'll have a seesaw battle to the very end tonight.
We will. There's a lot of ball game left, and it's going to depend on the Pens.
Johnny Peralta fouls the first pitch off. Johnny, RBI hit with 2 outs in the third inning. At that time, it tied the game at 3. DJ Carrasco, who came on in the fourth, gave up an RBI double to Asdrubal Cabrera, then intentionally walked Victor Martinez to load the bases, only to come back and strike out Mark DeRosa and Shin-Soo Choo to leave them loaded.
You notice that time when he went to the sidearm and he dropped down with 2 strikes, he went fastball. So that's to let hitters know he's not going to, just because he goes sidearm doesn't always mean it's going to be a breaking ball. He'll throw it fastball and slider from that spot. Got to be careful, though, you don't leave it out over the plate.
Breaking ball struck him out looking. 3 straight strikeouts for Carrasco, 1 down here in the 5th. Time now for our Toyota game recap, brought to you by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. For a dealer near you, visit buyatoyota.com. Jim Thome in the first inning, a 2-out, 2-run homer put the Sox on top 2-zip. Indians would come all the way back, and Asdrubal Cabrera's RBI double in the 4th inning put the Tribe in front 4-3. But then for the 42nd time in his career, Jim Thome with a multi-homer game. His second 2-run shot has the White Sox in front 5-4. Ryan Garco 0 for 2 tonight. Missed up high with it. And Garco now in a good hitter's count. And a line drive to right field, a base hit for Ryan Garco, who has now collected a hit in 10 of the last 11 games that he has started in. And a 1-out base runner for Matt Laporta, who has walked, singled, and scored a run tonight. Back to the STO studios we go for another Ford Sports Update with Al.
All right, guys, let's go up to Minnesota now. The Twins taking on the Tigers, who are tied for first place. In Minnesota, the early lead. Joe Creedy, 2-run homer here in the second. 2-0 Twins. They're now in the top of the third inning. Matt, Rick, back to you.
All right, thanks, Al. Don Cooper, White Sox pitching coach, coming out here.
Don't know if it's a scouting report on Laporta or what, because he hasn't struggled by any means.
That's a good point, though. Carrasco, I'm sure, has never seen Laporta.
And when they go over that hit, when they have a meeting for their lineup, it's going to be the catcher, the starting pitcher, and the pitching coach. You go over that lineup. Well, you don't go to the bullpen guys, and say, hey, here's the new guy in the lineup. We're going to go over it. So he's just coming out and give him a little scouting report.
Left-hander Jimmy Gobble warming for Chicago. Laporta, meanwhile, looks at a strike inside corner. He lined one right back up the middle his last time up. Down too low, evens the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. Checked his swing and fouls it off. 1-2 the count. Looked like he had him crossed up in between. The old started after it, didn't want to, couldn't stop.
Well, there's that slider, and he puts it in an excellent spot. You see, you start swinging at it, and then all of a sudden you think it's going to be a ball, and it's away, so he can't stop it, but he did foul it off. Now you're sitting up there saying, what am I going to see now?
Fastball. And he just fought it off.
Well, that ball was almost at the back of home plate.
We saw him do that on the road trip, too.
Toronto.
Just missed outside with it. Ryan Garco with a one-out single at first base. And a 2-2 count on Laporta. Breaking ball, weakly hit to second. 4-6-3 on the twin killer. And we'll go to the 6th inning with the White Sox leading at 5-4. Heritage Park, located beyond the center field wall here at Progressive Field. Indians on the short end of a 5-4 score as we go to the 6th inning. Jensen Lewis on for his 2nd inning of relief work. He's retired all 3 that he's faced, and a first pitch strike to Scott Posednik, who is 1 for 2 with a single. Posednik, Brent Lillibridge, and Jason Nix for Chicago here in the 6th inning.
Well, it's been the long ball for Chicago this evening. Mentioned they hadn't hit one in 4 games, and boy, well, actually Jim Thome has the pair, and then Jason Nix hit the solo shot back in the 3rd. But that's how they score.
3-1. The count now on Posednik. And a foul out of play on the left side. After the 04 baseball season, the White Sox traded away Carlos Lee to Milwaukee, and that's how they ended up with Scott Posednik the first time around. He came along with Luis Vizcaíno, who pitched very well that year for the White Sox out of their bullpen. And Vizcaino has been here in Cleveland. He has pitched for the Indians in terms of, they wanted to check him out, see if he's still got something left in the tank, and there's possibility he may end up in an Indians uniform. I mean, the Tribe is looking at every possible option they can to continue to try and bolster the bullpen in any way they see feasible. Three and two the count here on Pasednik. In the air, left central. This is Grady Sizemore. One away. Time now for our direct energy, bringing the gas sequence. Jensen Lewis coming on in the 5th inning. 2 down, bases empty, facing Corky Miller.
Well, Jensen starts him off with a good fastball, and then he hits him with a changeup. Tried to get him to elevate and missed. Went with the breaking ball down and away. Fastball just off the plate. Found one at the top of the strike zone to get him.
Direct Energy offers simple solutions for your natural gas supply needs. Brent Lillibridge 0 for 2 tonight. Looks at ball one outside. That one caught the umpire square in the old chest protector. That's why you wear it.
Right off the shoulder blade right there.
Good changeup from Lewis. 1 and 2 the count. Swung on and missed. He just blew it right past him. 3rd strikeout for Jensen Lewis. 2 down here in the 6th inning. Lewis has retired all 5 that he's faced.
Well, visit any of the Indians team shops or ballpark stands for a great merchandise and ticket deal. If you spend $45 or more, you will receive a voucher for tickets to a game this month. Indians team shops, your source for the authentic Indians merchandise and Indians game tickets.
Back to the top of the order now, Jason Nix. Nix has flied to right, he has homered to left, and he has walked tonight. Pounded the outside edge with a called strike. 1 and 2 the count. Struck him out looking. Nix doesn't like it, but Jensen Lewis has struck out 4 and he's retired 6 straight. We go to the bottom of the 6th here in Cleveland, 5-4 Chicago. And they'll be facing DJ Carrasco, who will stay on for a third inning of relief work. Facing Ben Francisco, who is 1 for 2 with an RBI double. Routine bouncer to short. Nix throws him out, 1 away.
Well, every Wednesday home game features a local charity, and every ticket sold, $1 will be donated to that charity. Tomorrow we want you to fill the house for Our Lady of the Wayside. If you would like more information, visit Indians.com/fill the house. 12 o'clock game, great pitching matchup.
That's going to be all for DJ Carrasco. Ozzie Guillen goes back to his bullpen. We've got a timeout. Chicago 5, Cleveland 4.
Lead here, bottom half of the 6th inning. As we go through our pitching change, I just would like to remind you that the Indians are celebrating the end of the school year with half-price ticket offer for Thursday, June 11th. It's a game against the Kansas City Royals. Log on to Indians.com/schoolsout and enter the password SUMMER, and you will get a great ticket deal. So Matt Thornton coming on now for the White Sox for the 14th time. He is 1-1. He's a good power left-hander. He can get both left-handers and right-handers out.
Brady Sizemore checks on a ball out of the strike zone.
This guy leads the American League relievers with 15.5 strikeouts per 9 innings. That's how good he can be. Doesn't matter what side of the plate you hit from. Held left-handers to a 171 average last year. So this guy's just tough to get to, right above our head.
Grady Sizemore is 4 for 10 in his career against Thornton with a homer. He's also walked 3 times. So they certainly have had their battles. Asdrubal Cabrera 2 for 5 in his career. He's coming up next. It's up high, 3-1. And then Victor Martinez is 4 for 12. So that's the thing about with the divisional play. You see everybody in your division so many times that there are very few surprises out of that bullpen.
Well, you know what you're going to get. I mean, this guy will come in, and during the course of the 18 games that we're going to play, Thornton will face Sizemore probably 6 times this year. And it's probably going to be with the game on the line, as it is right here in the 6th inning. Although, Hold, his job is to go out there and just get him through this inning.
Payoff pitch with 1 out here in the 6th inning. It's low, ball 4, and he's walked him for the 4th time in his career. And that will bring up Asdrubal Cabrera, who already has 2 hits on the night, including an RBI double and a run scored. Still a long way to go in this game. As Rick pointed out, we're only in the bottom of the 6th. And he just missed down low, ball 1. Freddie Sizemore has stolen 5 bases on the year. Cabrera with a high fly ball, right field over near the line. Dye makes the catch, 2 down. Tonight after the game right here on STO, Outdoors Ohio. Darcy Egan and Joe Thomas will be joined by fishing expert Sammy Capelli of Youngstown. They'll be fishing for northern pike on Lake Evans in eastern Ohio. Outdoors Ohio tonight after the game right here on STO. Corky Miller out to talk with Thornton. With Victor Martinez, the Indians' hottest hitter, coming up here. They've already walked Victor twice tonight. And he has a base hit as well. He has scored a run. So I would imagine the conversation went something like this. Be careful right here. Although Victor, during his hitting tear, has been doing it mostly with the base hit. 6 home runs on the season, but.
Well, yeah, I don't consider Victor a home run hitter. He's capable of hitting 20 home runs, but it comes from quality at bats. When he hit the home run in Boston, which, as a matter of fact, was the last home run the Indians hit, was in Tuesday night's ball game. Or what was it, Wednesday? Excuse me, Wednesdays. I mean, he stayed back, hit one from the right side of the plate, and hit it out into right center field at Fenway Park. He put such a great swing on that ball, and he's going to get his share of home runs, but Victor's a good hitter. He's got great hands. You know, look at the ball he hit for the first time up for the base hit. Got inside on him off the left-hander, but fortunate enough, he fought it off and blooped it in for a base hit. That's how you hit 300. And he's hit 300 all the way through the minor leagues. Has won batting titles. He's just flat out a good hitter. And doesn't take a lot of walks. He doesn't like to walk. But he does have an intentional walk. He's walked twice tonight. An intentional walk once and this a normal walk back in the 3rd.
Big swing and a miss. 1-1 the count. If he has an Achilles heel, I would have to say that
too aggressive.
When he gets runners in scoring position and then he gets the count tilted in his favor, just when you think he's got the pitcher where he wants him, it's actually just the reverse.
Well, because some patience, you know, he gets a little too aggressive as opposed to, you know, laying back and lying in the weeds and waiting for him.
That ball almost got away from Konerko.
Konerko said, let's go. Throw the ball home.
Straight. Throw it straight. Throw it crooked over there.
Left-handers have
straight
a tough time throwing it straight. Yeah, he has to reach across the body, and you've got a chance of taking one in the chin when you do that.
Tying run is at first base, and there goes Sizemore. Pitches up high. Throw is in time, and he held on for the out. So Sizemore thrown out again on the bases, and the inning is over. 6 complete. It remains 5-4 Chicago. fans, you can catch the Tribe on TV and enjoy pizza wings or a famous Panini's overstuffed sandwich on their beautiful patios. Panini's, the best food and outdoor dining in town. Visit paninisgrill.com. It's our Panini's cam that shows you the action from high above tonight, and the Indians on the short end of a 5-4 score. Moving now to the 7th inning of play. Chris Getz to lead it off, and Jensen Lewis, who has worked 2 perfect innings of relief. Activity in the Indians bullpen. 30th pitch so far for Lewis, and it's fouled away. Jensen has struck out 4 and has done a terrific job since coming out of that pen. Jeremy Sowers started tonight, went 4 innings, allowed 5 runs on 7 hits, walked 3, struck out 3. One and 2 the count. Tony Sipp is the left-hander warming in the Indians bullpen, under the watchful eye of Chuck Hernandez, Tribe's bullpen coach.
I wonder who he's getting ready for.
Ground ball towards second. Cabrera's there. Who's going to take the throw? Laporta apparently didn't get to the bag in time with his foot.
Well, he broke, and that's a case of not playing a lot of first base recently. He broke towards the ball and was late getting back to the base. So by the time Cabrera could throw the baseball, that's actually, see him, he's late getting there. And Lewis could have taken the throw better. He just missed the base. He was searching for it, never got there in time. And that's just, for me, that's just a case of not being over there. So that's got to be, I would imagine, an error. Another hit? I mean, come on. He changed that one play back in the 2nd inning off Cabrera to a hit. It's an offensive night. That's an error. It's a mental error. And Cabrera's was an error, but they're giving hits tonight for some reason. Oh, well.
Jermaine Dye doubled and scored his last time up. Foul tips it. Those nagging little things continue to plague the Tribe. An extra out here and there can really add up over the course of a game. 1-1 pitch. Strike called inside corner. Lewis could really use a ground ball right now, but the Indians have not recorded a ground ball out. They should have there.
How about that? Yeah, exactly. They have not done it. That's a rarity in itself.
Struck him out looking. That's 5 strikeouts now for Jensen Lewis.
That's a career high.
And it is career high for Jay Lou.
Great pitch. Fastball right on the outside corner. There you'll see a good release. It locks up Dye, and bingo. Gets the strikeout. Good pitch.
Well, he did a terrific job tonight for the Indians. He leaves with a runner on base. And 1 out here in the 7th inning. Tribe down 5-4. high 5. They changed the ruling on the base hit by Chris Getz to an error.
Right.
Presumably the error on Matt Laporta, the first baseman.
Well, that's the only one it could be on. Couldn't be on anybody else. Tony Sipp coming on now for the Indians for the 8th time. Coming on, he's going to face the big left-hander Jim Thome with 1 out here, 1 on in the 7th inning, and try and keep this a 5-4 ball game. After that, you've got Konerko on deck.
The opposition is 3 for 20 against Tony Sipp so far this year.
Thome's had a good night.
Boy, has he.
A couple of homers and 4 ribbies.
42nd multi-homer game of his career. Indians shift, but both infielders on the right side stay on the dirt. Pitch to Thome is low for ball 1. You see Cabrera, instead of playing out in shallow right on the grass, he's right there on the dirt with DeRosa to his right and Peralta over at his normal shortstop position. Up and in. 2 balls and no strikes on Jim Thome. Been on base safely all 3 times tonight with 2 dingers and a walk.
When you're a young pitcher, this guy could put a scare into you, especially after you watch him launch 2 tonight off a left-hander earlier. So Tony, figures, okay, maybe overthrowing a little bit. Just concentrate on hitting your spots.
Swung on and missed. He may have gotten Thome to do something he doesn't do very often, and that is expand his strike zone.
Well, that's why he was cheating. On a fastball there, 2-0, you're looking for it. He did go out of his zone. He was trying to hit a third.
That one kicks away from Martinez. Gets turned second.
He's
going to go for third. The throw, not in time.
I'll tell you what, this kid hustles. I like the way he hustles. He took off as soon as that ball went into the dirt, and he was thinking third base all the way. And after he kicked it in right before second base, he didn't hesitate. He just came, and that's how you go. 2 bases on a wild pitch. That slider down in the dirt deflected wildly. Look at Victor had a tough time picking it up. By the time he does, look at him. He's in full stride. Great hustle.
Now the infield has to come in. Not an inviting proposal with this guy at the plate.
Well, Jimmy usually doesn't hit a lot of ground balls. Ozzy's yelling out something to Getz. They want him to go on contact. It doesn't matter because he can go as far down the line off third base as Peralta is from the bag. He can get a huge lead.
It's low ball 4. So a 1-out walk to Thome will put runners at the corners. Now a double play possibility with Paul Konerko coming up. Konerko is very slow-footed, so a ball in the ground gives you an opportunity for a double play. But again, to reiterate, Indians do not have a ground ball out recorded in the game. Every ball that the White Sox have been retired on tonight has either been in the air or via the strikeout. And that pitch goes inside. I mentioned earlier when Jim Thome walked in the 3rd inning, he moved into a tie for 13th place all time on the walks list with Pete Rose. So that free pass gives him sole possession of spot number 13 with 1,567 career walks ahead of Pete Rose. Tony Sipp has now fallen behind Paul Konerko 2-0 with Matt Hergis warming in the Indians bullpen. Tony Sipp has come in, and out of the 7 pitches he's thrown, only 1 has been for a strike. And he's missed again, 3-0. Right-handed hitting Josh Fields waits on deck. Sip delivers, and it's ball 4 in the dirt. So
Boy,
he's walked the only 2 he's faced here, and the bases are loaded with 1 out. And Eric Wedge, no, this is going to be Carl Willis. Pitching coach will come out and talk to Sip, who will face Josh Fields with the bases loaded and only 1 out. Well, you can go online at stostuff.com and buy authentic Sports Time Ohio merchandise. There's an STO hat, an All Bets Are Off t-shirt, plus a talking bottle opener. Check it out now online at stostuff.com. 5-4 White Sox on top, but they are in prime position now to put some distance between themselves and the Indians. You see Carl Willis and Victor Martinez both trying to pump up Tony Sip here. He's got to be aggressive now. Nowhere to put Josh Fields.
Well, and you go up there as a hitter. Fields is a guy that strikes out. He leads the league in strikeouts. So, I mean, you make your pitch, you can get him. But he's sitting out there after the pitching coach just went to the mound, and you've got to look for that first pitch fastball here in a situation.
Okay, now you say that, but on the flip side of that, fans are saying, well, the guy he just walked the last guy. You got to take a pitch here. You can't swing at the first pitch.
Go ahead. You can take it. But if he throws you a cock shot right down the middle,
pitch is
like that,
a called strike outside
corner.
corner.
I mean, you're disciplined up there when you're a hitter. I mean, you know your zone. But, I mean, you go ahead and take it. Young hitters can do that. You got to trust a veteran. He knows when to shoot him because that first pitch in an at-bat may be your best.
Josh Fields 0 for 3 on the night, but he's sitting in the catbird seat right now. And he takes a strike, 0-2. So it looks like the meeting at the mound from Carl Willis and Victor Martinez pumped some life into Tony Sip. And he's got him down now 0-2. With the bases full of White Sox and only 1 out. Fouled right back to the screen. Fields had a big rip.
Well, you can see this guy doesn't give in when he gets the 2 strikes. He tries to hit that one out of the ballpark. You're down on the count 0-2. Fouled it off, but he did have a big cut. Just make your pitch.
Sip with a long stare in to Victor Martinez. With the 0-2 pitch. Couldn't get him to chase.
You see, when he's already throwing like a wild pitch here, you're almost, when you call that break a ball, he's got to trust that his catcher's going to block it. There was one he threw to the screen where Getz went 2 bases. You don't worry about that. Victor's going to be there. When he calls it, he's anticipating that ball in the dirt.
And the 1-2. Swung on and missed. He got him.
See Victor point out to him, that a boy. Throw it. Don't worry about it. Just get over it and get on it. And he gets the strikeout. He made his pitch.
Gets his first out his first strikeout here. Second out in the inning. Bases still loaded.
That was good location. It didn't, it was a ball. It was out of the zone, but he got Fields to really expand it because he was ahead 0-2. He didn't chase the first one in the dirt, but he was able to get him to chase that one.
Now Sip with a chance to get out of the inning if he can retire Corky Miller, who is 1 for 3 with a single on the night. Miller has lined out to center. His base hit came in the 4th inning, and he struck out to end the 5th. Down low. Miller's base hit in the 4th inning was a one-hop smash that Mark DeRosa got a piece of, just ticked off the end of his glove on a diving effort. And he's missed again, 2-0. There you get a look. White Sox everywhere. Chris Getz at third. Jim Thome at second. Paul Konerko is at first base. And a line drive base hit left field. That's going to get Getz home. Jim Thome will also score. And it's a 2-out, 2-run single for Corky Miller. And the White Sox open it up now with a 7-4 advantage.
Just too many base runners there and the mistakes. The error to lead the inning off, and then a couple of walks, and sooner or later, he's going to get you. He fell behind the count. He's got to come in with the strike. Corky Miller ready. Drives when it gets it back to the wall. Thome comes in, scores. But, boy, they are slow. Konerko has to stay at second base. It'll go as a single. But two are in.
A strike to Scott Posednik, who is 1 for 3.
I mean, when you look at the Indians this year, from the 6th inning on, 107 of their 192 runs given up, or 56% of their runs have scored from the 6th inning on. So, I mean, that's usually bullpen time, and that goes to show you. I mean, it's tough. They've been outscored now 109-75 from that 6th inning. And that's a tough way to play.
1-1 pitch.
And it's almost, Matt, when you make a mistake like it was made earlier to lead this inning off, and then a wild pitch, and then a couple of walks. This pitching staff, you can't make mistakes. You almost have to play perfect defense.
That's a tough way to go.
Yes, it is. There's no room for error. It is a very tough way to go.
In the dirt, Posednik did not chase after it. And it evens things up at 2-2. .21 pitches for Tony Sipp.
Yeah, he's all over the place.
Missed outside. Full count.
You know, people want the call, but you can't expect umpires to give anybody a call when you've been all around the plate and you have not been in a consistent zone.
Konerko and Miller, both slow of foot, will be off on this 3-2 pitch. And it's low, ball 4. Sipp has walked his third, and they are loaded again. The 9th man to bat in the inning will be Brent Lillibridge, but he'll face a new pitcher. Matt Hergis will be coming on when we come back. White Sox now lead at 7-4 here in the 7th. Eighth man to bat in the inning is Brent Lillibridge, and coming on for the Tribe is Matt Hergis. trying to save the day and keep the Indians within striking distance here. Lillibridge 0 for 3 on the night. He has flied to right twice and he has struck out. There's Paul Konerko at third, Corky Miller down at second, and the fleet-footed Scott Posednik is at first. Ground ball, Peralta. The flip, inning over. One pitch, Hergis gets out of it. But the White Sox get 2 more. Stretch time in Cleveland, 7-4 White Sox. Out of the bottom of the 7th inning. Here at Progressive Field, Victor Martinez, Mark DeRosa, and Shin-Soo Choo. Matt Thornton will stay on to at least start the inning. And we'll see what Ozzie Guillen plans if the Indians get anybody on base. This has been a back-and-forth affair until the White Sox grab the advantage on the 2-run home run by Jim Thome in the 5th inning. They went ahead 5-4 and then added 2 on in the 7th. Chicago led 2-0 in the first on a 2-run homer by Jim Thome. Indians would tie the game in the bottom of the 3rd at 3 apiece on a 2-out RBI single by Johnny Peralta. They would go ahead 4-3 on an RBI double by Asdrubal Cabrera in the 4th inning. But then in the 5th, Thome's 2-run homer, and then the self-inflicted damage in the 7th inning. White Sox scoring 2 runs on just 1 hit.
And they still left them loaded, so it was an ugly inning.
But the Indians still have a chance to get back in it here. Martinez, DeRosa, and Choo. Victor has been on base all 3 times tonight. Twice he has walked, he has singled, and he has scored a run. First pitch strike from Matt Thornton. Tonight's scoreboard update brought to you by Coors Light. Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Quickly 0-2 the count on Martinez. Emergency swing to stay alive. Matt Thornton was a first-round pick of the Seattle Mariners way back in 1998 out of Grand Valley State in Michigan.
This is a great trade for the White Sox to get this hard-throwing left-hander for the bullpen.
Victor pops it in the air, right field near the line. Dye, long run. He's there. 1 away. Now bring up Mark DeRosa, who is 0 for 3 on the evening. I mean, he's one of those guys. I mean, the Matt Thornton story is just, it's almost like the stuff of movies. He wasn't even planning on playing professional baseball. DeRosa bounces one foul. He was a student teacher in 1998, and he was playing baseball just because he enjoyed it at Grand Valley State. And out of that, he became a first-round pick.
Well,
just, being left-handed and being a guy who can throw with pretty good velocity.
Just tells me do something you enjoy doing, because you never know what can happen.
He said, I was planning on being a biology and physical education teacher and maybe coaching some basketball and baseball.
Well, and here he is, a left-hander coming out of the bullpen. Can throw in the mid-90s.
He played basketball at Grand Valley State.
He's a big guy.
He averaged 9 points and 4 rebounds a game. He said, I thought maybe I could go over to Europe and even play a little bit professionally.
Ouch.
Shatters the bat. Fields will throw out DeRosa. 2 down. The handle ended up 3/4 of the way down the first baseline.
That's because I think he dropped it when he had it in his hand. Because that ball, he still got it in his hand as he's running the first base. And he said, oh, I still got the handle. There goes the barrel. That's called getting jammed right there. That's getting deep in the kitchen.
Shin-Soo Choo 0 for 2. Ball 1 down low. Down goes Choo.
Well, I'll tell you what, as hard as this guy throws, he cannot be comfortable to face. He doesn't throw a lot of breaking balls, man, a lot of fastballs, but this one, is up under the chin. This is a little Choo music, as old Mudcat used to say. I meant chin music. He landed on his bat.
97 miles an hour
Yeah.
will get your attention.
I'll tell you, up around the head, that's not fun. Obviously he's trying to put one on the inside part of the plate and jam Choo, but he just can't get it in there for a strike. He doesn't want to leave one out over the plate. There's one. Well, if I'm Choo, I'd take another one.
Last year, left-handed hitters batted $170 off Matt Thornton.
Yeah, he did it's no day at the beach against righties either.
Right-handers hit a whopping 218.
Yeah. Congratulations. And they lost a lot of bats doing it.
Somehow he got wood on that to stay alive.
He's getting ready to take that, but he was unsure how close that was.
Hard hit grounder to first, but Paul Konerko will take it himself. Indians go 1, 2, 3. And we'll go to the 8th inning in Cleveland. 7-4 Chicago. man who didn't bat in the 7th inning. Nix homered in the 3rd. 1 for 3 on the night with a walk. That's a strike outside corner. 0-2. Missed away, a ball and 2 strikes. 39-year-old Matt Hergis. Spent the last couple of years with the Colorado Rockies. Big bouncer towards 3rd. Nice short hop pick by DeRosa. Throws him out 1 away. Well, let's see how our trivia knowledge tested out on the All-Tel Text Bowl question of the game. 44% jumping on Jose Valentin, but it was Randy Velarde of the Yankees, right?
He was in Oakland in New York.
That's right. Gotcha.
He was with the A's.
I knew there was a
New
Yankee
York.
connection with Randy Velarde.
Well, Randy
somehow.
Velarde came up as a Yankee.
Yeah. What was the year on that? Did we have the year? It was in 2000. So, wow, 7 years. 8 years.
What's the 2009?
No, it was last. No, he did it last year. That was 2008.
Oh, as Drubal?
Yeah. Pitch outside to Chris Getz, who is 0 for 4. Ran it in tight, knocked him off the plate. Matt Hergis signed with the Dodgers back in 1992 after going undrafted. Played collegiately at Illinois State. This will be Asdrubal Cabrera, 2 down. Back to the STO studios we go once more for a Ford Sports Update with Al.
All right, guys, and we go up to Minneapolis. Minnesota was ahead of this one 4-0, but Jeff Larish for the Tigers gets one back here with a solo shot. His 3rd of the season. 4-1 Minnesota now, 6th inning at the Metrodome. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Al. Here it's 7-4 Chicago. Top of the 8th inning. 2 down, bases empty for Jermaine Dye. Fouls the first pitch off. The 0-1 delivery. Missed down low with it. Matt Hergis spent 7 years in the minor leagues before he got his first taste of big league action in 1999 with the Dodgers. Boy, just missed 2-1. He spent parts of 3 major league seasons with the LA before moving on to Montreal, then San Diego, San Francisco, Arizona, Florida, Colorado, and now Cleveland. Hergis with the 2-1 to Dye. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hergis was part of that 07 Colorado Rockies club that advanced to the World Series before falling to the Boston Red Sox. The 2-2. Big bouncer for DeRosa. White Sox go 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Still 7-4 Chicago. (7-4) in favor of Chicago. Moving to the bottom of the 8th inning. Defensively now for the White Sox, Alexi Ramirez has come on in place of Jason Nix at shortstop. And the new White Sox pitcher is Octavio Dotel. For the 13th time this year, he has not allowed an earned run.
Well, this guy has a pretty good arm as well.
He has
a couple of years ago,
8 in 10 innings, which seems like a lot.
Well, he
for a
can.
reliever.
I mean, he can lose it occasionally, but when he's locked in, he's got a good arm. You remember after the White Sox had their problems with their bullpen a couple of years ago, they went out and they invested money into that bullpen. They went out and signed Dotel. They signed Scott Linebrake as well, who was having a good year until he had his arm problems last year, and that's what, he got him rolling for a while. He was their man earlier in the year. And then this guy had to pick up some slack, but, Linebrake was a frontline setup guy for the Padres, then went to the Brewers, and then they signed him to a big deal, and then this guy has closed before. But both have very good arms, and you mix in Matt Thornton from the left side, that's pretty solid.
Johnny with a lazy pop in a shallow left. Ramirez backing up. He'll be called off. And Posednik grabs it, one away. That'll bring up Ryan Garco, who is 1 for 3 tonight. Well, the White Sox are one of those teams that when they get the early lead, they play very well. They came in to action in this series 10-2 when they score first on the year. That's the third best winning percentage in baseball when they get the first run of the game. 5
of the 7 runs scored on home run balls. They're a home run hitting team. They don't manufacture. The Indians gave them 2 runs in the 7th inning. After they had that 1-run lead, you got to make them keep the ball in the ballpark, which sometimes can be tough because they play in a homer-friendly park.
2-0 the count on Garco.
They're like a heavyweight. They're going to outslug you. And then when they can get the lead, then they turn it over to a pretty solid bullpen, and that's how they maintain it.
Just did get the outside corner, 2-1. Indians looking for some base runners here in the 8th inning. You'll see Bobby Jenks in the 9th if it stays a 3-run deficit. Bloop towards center. Ramirez out, makes the over-the-shoulder catch, 2 down. Going to bring up Matt Laporta. He's 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored tonight.
Well, just put into the game, it'll find you. Ramirez gets out there, makes a little running basket catch. You remember last year he started the season playing center field.
Yes.
He's really a good athlete.
Struggling this year offensively. And the pitch to Matt Laporta is outside for ball 1. Swung on and missed. He took a big rip at a good fastball, but came up empty. Man, the count is 1-1. Laporta sends a foul ball over into the club seats. And a fastball blew it by him. Indians go 1-2-3, and the White Sox bullpen has quietly now set down 7 in a row. Jim Thome to lead it off, followed by Paul Konerko and Josh Fields. Matt Hergis stays on for the Tribe. He's worked an inning and a third scoreless relief. Jim Thome, for the 42nd time in his major league career, 2 home runs in a ball game. You may remember last year he did it in the opener against CC Sabathia.
Yes, I do remember that. I sure do.
He also did it here in Cleveland back in '06, one off Cliff Lee, one off Guillermo Mota. Two balls and two strikes. Full count. Only twice in his career, I say only, but only twice in his career has he hit 3 home runs in a game. Both times as a member of the Tribe. One on July 6th of 2001 against the Cardinals. The other time back in 1994 against the White Sox. Swung on and missed. Burgess gets him with a strikeout, and the Indians retire Thome for the first time tonight. One down here in the ninth.
That ball had some movement going away. Was that changeup maybe? 80 miles per hour. Yeah, it looked like that thing running away from him. That's one of the few times you get him to expand the strike zone on a full count. A lot of times he'll take that.
Burgess has retired 5 in a row. Now Paul Konerko steps in, 1 for 3 with a double. The 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball down low. Tomorrow's matchup, by the way, is a great one as far as the pitchers are concerned. You've got Mark Buehrle off to a 5-0 start for the first time in his career, going up against Cliff Lee, and we'll have it for you tomorrow at noon right here on STO.
And you better tune in early because it may not last long the way these two guys are pitching. Buehrle's always a very fast worker. Cliff Lee's been pitching excellent. He's been the victim of no run support by the Tribe.
And isn't that amazing how that can go for a pitcher? And you continue to get matched up against guys who are also pitching very well.
Well, we'll tell you the list tomorrow. But when you're a number one starter, that's what happens. And I mean, that's the difference. You get locked in with those guys. Cliff is throwing a ball as well as he did last year, and it's just the breaks aren't the same.
1-2. Missed outside with it.
But he's been awfully fun to watch. He and Verlander hooked up the last couple of starts. One here, one in Detroit. Very good ball games.
7-4, White Sox on top, 9th inning. Bases empty, 1 away. 2-2 count on Paul Konerko. And it's just a bit outside. Full count. So a 3-2 pitch here to Konerko. And it's lined foul just over the head of the third base coach. Almost like a quarterback in the fourth quarter, kill the clock drill, just took a knee. Jeff Cox down there at third base. He's saying, hit it out that way this time. Payoff pitch. Again, fouled away. And the 3-2. Struck him out looking 2 down. Let's get a look right now at our Northern Ohio Buick Pontiac GMC performance of the game. And Jim Thome doing it for the White Sox tonight. He got him started in the first, He put him back in front in the 5th, and they have not trailed since.
That's been the missing element for the White Sox, was the long ball. When they hit a couple long balls, they come back and they've got a chance to win a ball game.
They went 4 straight games without hitting a dinger.
Yes, they did. And they've lost their last 4. Excuse me, 2, but they've lost 4 out of 5.
In there for a strike to Josh Fields, who is 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts tonight. White Sox, like the Indians, had dropped 7 of their last 10 coming in. Oh, and 2 the count. Matt Hergis gonna let it fly. And Fields not tempted by that pitch. For Josh Fields, it may just be moral victory to make contact. When you've struck out 3 straight times, confidence can be a little low.
Well, he's that way. He's all or nothing. He's fits right in. That one
just missed outside. Victor wants the same location. 2-2 pitch. Popped it in the air. Center field's got some pretty good carry, but Grady will make the catch. And the inning is over. White Sox go 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the 9th here in Cleveland. Chicago leads it 7-4. Bottom of the 9th here at Progressive Field. And coming on to try to close it out for Chicago will be their closer, Bobby Jenks. 7 saves on the year. In 11 innings of work, he has punched out a dozen and walked just 4. And he's allowed 8 hits. 2 earned runs. He's given up 1 home run. He'll face Ben Francisco and then the top of the order for the Tribe.
Well, it was about a year ago when Bobby Jenks recorded his 100th save. It was right here in Cleveland on May 26th. Became the second fastest pitcher in the major leagues to 100 wins in 187 games. He's looking for save number 8 today. He's going to face Francisco Sizemore Cabrera. Tribe need a couple of base runners to get that tying run to the plate.
Francisco looks at a first pitch strike. Bobby Jenks, not only can he rush the fastball up there, mid-90s, but he can also just bend your knees with an awesome curveball.
Yeah, he's got a good curveball. He's got, 96, you see it there. He's also got a changeup.
Formerly a 5th-round pick of the Angels back in 2000. Missed inside.
Never really panned out while he was in Anaheim.
No.
Never found his niche or his role, but it doesn't surprise you that an arm like this comes out of that system.
Big bouncer to short. Alexi Ramirez takes care of Francisco, 1 away. So we go to the top of the order now. Grady Sizemore, 1 out of 3 with a base hit tonight. Bobby Jenks is one of those guys who always has people talking about his weight. Listed at 275 pounds. And Ozzie Guillen is always all over his case about it. But that's not a situation where he's doing it to torment the guy or make fun of him. I think he realizes, look, you keep your body in good shape, you pitch a lot longer.
It'll make you a better player.
Conrad's postgame show comes your way immediately following the ball game tonight. We'll get you all set up for tomorrow's series finale. Look back at the highlights from tonight as well. The 1-1 in the dirt. Sizemore trying to start an Indians rally here in the ninth. 2-1 pitch, fisted in the air, shallow right, die coming in. And he's got it 2 away. Indians down to their final out, and Asdrubal Cabrera will be the batter with 2 hits on the night. Doubled in a run in the 4th, singled and scored in the 3rd. Missed up high for ball 1. Same spot, 2-0. Cabrera with a hit now in 13 of his last 14 games. He has gone 4 for 8 in this series. His batting average currently sits at .331. 2 balls and a strike. Baltimore held on to beat Tampa 7-5 tonight. Short hop to third. Fields knocks it down and throws him out. And the ball game is over. White Sox come back and win game 2 now to even the series at a game apiece. And the series finale will come your way tomorrow at noon right here on Sports Time Ohio.